0-2. On the opposite side for Seattle, they're 0-4. And as you continue on, Rio, neither one of these squads have played it. Even the high rise, they haven't found any W's. So neither of these squads have found any W's in the respawn game modes. Someone's going to walk away with at least one today.
Have to have it. I mean, otherwise we're just going to sit here looking at the map cinematic all day long. It's going to be curious because I think on the other side of things, you know, Puckett was pointing towards kind of taking the conversation away from the ARs and into the SMGs, and I think that's a really fair shout, and go figure, we happen to be playing some of the hardest SMG maps that we have kind of in the pool at the moment, but it is win for first blood. Carolina stepping in from the P2 side of the map, and Seattle just trying to survive and battle back.
I usually expecting Quinn to start off with that rival 9, but if you bring that MCW top mid and you have to stare down the hallway, you can already find an easy kill. Z finds 2, make it 3 dead in the feed for Carolina. Just got to start thinking ahead now. There's only 30 seconds left. That P2 is already going to be off the rotation for Seattle. Surge, you have Brezzy trying to stay alive, trying to stall time for his teammates to get to him.
Problem is, none of his teammates can get to him, and now Brezzy's the last one left alive. Well fought from Fellow. Over the top, he's able to help out over through tunnel, and then easy pick over towards Brezzy on the high ground, and oh my goodness, a full lawless start for Carolina. They're going to get 50 seconds on P1 and win the rotation to 2. This is chef's kiss so far for the Ravens.
Yeah, they might have just called game right there. Just finding 50 seconds off P1, you're going to put yourself in a position to get another full 60 at P2. You might be up 100-0 at the end of this hard point. Seattle Surge have to find a way on in, and that 2-piece might be the opening. Now you have pressure through garage. Now you have pressure through ticket side, and neither player from Carolina who are coming off spawn are even close towards the tunnel yet. They finally get here, but Seattle Surge just a little too slow. You're allowing Carolina to reinforce.
And these extra kills that are coming through are going to make this hold potentially that much more impactful. All told, though, Abuza still in a position to try to challenge this, but the Ravens will reinforce through tunnel side. Just comes down to, can Abuza sneak his way up? No, he's denied. Still 30 seconds to fight for, and now all 4 Carolina members are at the ready. Yikes. We're going to have 100-0 score line through 2, unless Hook can find some way to break. He may just sneak behind Fellow. Not quite. 5 in a row for Fellow. And yep, looks like we already get to that 100-point mark in the second hill.
And now Seattle Surge, they just need to be in an opportunity to stop this bleeding. It's all about finding a couple kills off the rotation, but still off the rotation. There's 2 players from Carolina already contesting. Gwen and TJ combined for 2. The trade is going to be there from Hook. Now it all falls into the hand. And TJ, he drops. And finally, Seattle Surge have an opportunity to get some points on the board.
And you have to think about this being at least 45 seconds here, just to give yourself a shot at getting back into this game at the moment. Carolina trying to break this from 2 points of ingress. Half the team from the middle, half the team from the front. Trade's looking good for the Ravens. Boo's the last one left alive, slips away, tries to wait for his former teammate from Wobabobs and Brezzy, but is not able to get it going. 1 in 8 start for the new guy for Seattle, and Carolina get their break, and they're off to the races again.
Yeah, this is not how you want to come out in your second match. Obviously, your first series versus the Subliners wasn't even close. But versus a team like Carolina, who are currently sitting 12th in the league with 25 total CDL points, you got to come out better than this. And it all has to start. You're going to contest it over towards this P3. There's only 1 player on this point, so the final 10 is going to be yours. But that's another rotation won by Carolina. They're fully set up for that push.
I mean, all 4 members from the Surge go back for what is essentially just 10 seconds worth of time. And Fellow does well just to kind of keep them at bay a little while longer. Nice moment here from Arsity. He's on 3 in a row, working through the middle of the map. He'll find his 4th, and now the Surge can find a way to break in from the backside. Nade's anticipating this, though, for Ravens on their defense. Hoop not at full health. He can't really challenge this, but does get gifted a kill on the Fellow. 3 straight kills come with Brezzy's pinch, and the last one left is Clayster. No trades to be found, and Seattle get a clean break.
Yeah, that's a good break right there from Seattle. Really patient through the back end, but they were waiting for Brezzy to set up that pinch from top mid steps. He finds 2. The other 2 go to the hoop. And now this is some much needed time. Only going to be down by 100 points, but already 25 seconds left on this P4. You have to start thinking about that rotation. 2 players from Carolina already at that positioning. The only player here is going to be Arsity. He does find 1, so it turns into a 1-on-1. Nope. The reinforcements are there for Carolina. They're going to put themselves in a position to win another rotation again.
Trade's good on the rotation. Time to lock in with the Carolina Royal Ravens and to listen in to see how they hold this P5.
Open.
I have garage. I'm backing up. I don't want to hold it, guys. I got 1.
Yeah, you're good. I have a trophy down mid P5.
Nobody DVD, guys.
I'll hold tunnel. I got 1 again. 1 more ticket on me, Alec.
I'm gonna come graffiti. I'm giving up garage.
He's looking pinch right now, but he's
okay. I'm gonna go graffiti to garage.
Look my cross. Look my cross.
1 just holding tunnel. Huke. Top ticket. Top ticket.
I'm holding ticket. I have ticket. He on tunnel weak. Dead. I died from ticket. 2 ticket. 2 ticket.
I have your hop up in 2 seconds.
Both cross. Back right time. I have a streak. I'm streaking. Stay the fuck alive.
Go.
Alright, now listen, there is 1 in time, 1 garage, 1 ticket.
I killed 1 time.
I'm killing the guy time. 1 push me garage. One, last guy pushed me. He's bottom P2. Get time. Bottom P2 weak, bro.
I stunned it.
He's on you, dead.
I'm crossing.
Get time,
Crossing.
garage,
It's down, dead garage.
two garage, guys. Both one shot
I can't
garage.
get it.
I'm just waiting.
Get time.
They're both one shot.
And
one's
down
on
on
P2.
the AC, left side AC.
Chill. And he shot me back alley weak. Resi, shot me back
I
up.
spawned upstairs.
Nice. It's a good time.
He's on the
Alright,
way
let's go
back. I
around.
can reach this guy.
Take time. Go.
He's
Okay,
down.
I'm gonna flood. I'm flooding with you.
He's gonna be window. I'm sliding.
Are you top left?
Laying down dub doors. Resi weak. Dub door. Plat. One shot.
Not the cleanest P5 we've seen study, but hey, at least it goes neutral, I guess. Just small silver linings, and let's be honest, there's still a significant lead margin here for the Ravens.
Yeah, you take that, though, if you're Carolina. Like you said, not the best P5, but at least you started off the map slaying the way that you did. You earned the cruise missile. You were able to keep them off of that time for about 20 to 25 seconds. So that was potentially the answer for Seattle Surge to get back into the game. But now we find ourselves on the second half of this hard point. Into the P1 we go. It's been an all-out scrap fest. Trades are abound, but Fellow, he's able to at least find two with that pistol. Still Seattle Surge in control.
One of the best respawns we've seen from Fellows at this point. Gwyn's still doing what he's been doing all year long, but the big note here was Surge kind of clawing back into this game from a 1-8 start for Brezzy. They correct the mistakes they had done last time, which is right here at the second hard point. Failed the rotation, failed to break, and it looks like for the moment Carolina are very comfortable in their setup.
Yeah, this has always been a struggle, though, for Seattle, especially in HPs. They are great off the rotation, but everything else, when it comes to hold percentage or break, bottom two in those categories. And now you have to force them to break one of the most difficult hills ever created. But that might be an opportunity. They find a couple kills through Ticket. They also find a 3 as well. So they have the numbers. You just have to step up the pace. Unfortunately, the crossfire from Clayster, too strong. The two players spawn towards tunnel, too strong on that gunfight as well. And Carolina still hold on.
Yeah, that is just mere margins where TJ doesn't have any information until Clay gets to garage, but the hit is not done yet. Surge coming up the back staircase. TJ goes prone, finds the kill, and once more, Carolina to the middle of the map. Just give TJ enough breathing room to hang in the hard point. So just when you thought Seattle was trying to cut their way back into this game, Clayster and company have said, no sir, no way. 200 points on the board, plus more to follow.
That's insane, too, because on a P2, you find 3 kills, you're probably thinking instant break, but every single time Carolina had at least one player on the point. He found 1 kill, stalled enough time for his teammates to get back to him. And that's been 2 full 60 holds from Carolina, already breaching that 200-point mark. But this time they're going to be late off the rotation. Seattle needs to have a response here. It can't be slow and steady. That's the way Carolina broke their way in last time, was slow through back laundry, great through top mid, and they traded effectively. But this time, it's Seattle Surge still holding on.
A little bit of extra zoning going on to the middle of the map doesn't fully work out. Abuza just kind of thwarts himself right into the mix, but it's RCD's last one standing, gets caught trying to place the trophy system in the break. Already good for Carolina, and I'll say, from a teamwork perspective, this is looking like a much more polished Royal Ravens team. They're going to have an opportunity to win it right here, so Seattle need to find a break.
Yeah, they've been playing a lot of top teams really, really close in HPs, and finally they're playing one of the teams who struggle in HP, and this is what the score line is looking like currently. As Carolina, they were trading great, but Seattle Surge again are going to walk away with the final 15 seconds over towards B3, and you will take that if you are Carolina. You have God Steps. You're already in full control of top mid and bottom mid. Just need to put one player into the point, and the game could potentially be closed out here.
Yeah, something would have to go dramatically wrong for them to not find 10+ seconds on this rotation. And to be fair, Seattle has cleared some space at mid-map, but the apartment hold from Carolina is getting so much work done. A couple of trades, but again, it's just not enough at the moment. Someone's gonna have to break this from the front. Clay hold in the corner, does get a lot of damage in. No contest as of yet, and that will likely just about do it. Last player to find is Brezzy Narcities, which they do find a couple eliminations, but TJ finalizes the map with the final kill. And how about that from the Ravens? A 106-0 start, comfortable from there on out.
Yeah, that's basically what the ending score difference was as well, man. When you start off as hot as you were, you get a full 50 on P1. Keep in mind that they were the team that spawned on the preferred side, but the fact that you rotated over towards P2, held that for 2 full 60s, yeah, you're basically going to guarantee Skid Row HP every single time as Carolina Ravens. Just stay strong in that HP. Seattle Surge still struggling. Obviously, it was a slow start from Bezzy, but he was almost the top slayer on that team at the end of that HP. That is not the way you're deciding to try to win HPs, but Carolina not making any mistakes, doing the fundamentals, stay strong to that game plan, and they dominate in map 1.
And, you know, Ali was the one who brought it up on the desk. Like, hey, both of these two teams have had kind of mismatched results in terms of how they play around hard points. But let's be honest, you rotate well on this map, and then you put together even a marginally fine hold, you're going to find 40+ seconds. Yes. I mean, these hard points are so, I would say, easy to lock down. I don't mean to make it sound so mundane, but let's be candid. I mean, when you've got good ARs over the top of you, it's going to be hard-pressed to lose P2, lose P5, and that was really the difference maker in this game. It's just the fact that Seattle did not rotate as well as Carolina did in the mid-round.
Yeah, because what? It's Carolina on this map sitting at about 9th in rotations, which is around the middle of the pack. Seattle Surge are actually better on this map, but that was with their old roster. And unfortunately, Carolina, they make them pay for it. When you're starting off, like I said, P1 50 points, you get a P2 down. And there were situations where Seattle Surge found a couple kills off the rotation or even trying to get the break in towards P2. They were just too slow. You allowed Carolina to spawn up through tunnel, instantly sprint, drop a trophy down, make sure they're safe from all the attacks, and then just crossfire galore with those MCWs. They just simply did not have an answer early on into this game one. But now if you are Seattle Surge, the stuff that's been getting you through a lot of these series all season long has been search and destroy, and at least you got one in terminal next map where you have found a lot of success, even if it was with the old roster.
Yeah, and that's the bigger part of it, is like this has been the most rehearsed map for the side of Seattle, at least as of lately. 3 straight times they've played it. Like you mentioned, hasn't been with this exact roster, but hey, all things told, it is essentially the same roster, just inserting Brezzy into the picture for all intents and purposes. So it's one of those situations you look at and say, okay, we thought the respawns were going to be kind of a question mark for both of these two teams coming in. Obviously, more conviction there from Carolina off the hot start, but this is where you have to extend this series. Find a way to take this map number 2. Otherwise, the entire series looks, I won't say unwinnable, but you kind of find yourself in dire straits if you're Seattle, considering a high-rise control and a Rio Hardpoint to
It's
follow.
probably unwinnable if you don't win this tournament S&D, because high-rise control, just control in general, they haven't been able to win that game mode since Vietnam. So, 9 straight losses in that, and you're going up against Carolina roster, who lost this one, lost high-rise control yesterday all the way in the round number 5 against Boston. That one was tough, but that was due to the fact that they just simply did not have defense. They were able to keep up with the slaying, not really gain a lot of segments, and unfortunately lose that all the way into round number 5. But just the way that Carolina played, more specifically Fellow, he's been the guy. Like, if he goes off, it's a lot easier for Carolina to win. So continue to play the way that you are, young fellow.
Yeah, I like that. And that's the other part about it. I kind of mentioned it briefly in the Hardpoint, but Fellow looks like he's coming into play at a very high rate right now. This is probably one of his best respawn performances we've had in a minute. But here are some of the statistics looking at the overall search and destroy. You kind of praised Seattle for what they've been able to do in overall record, but a lot of it has been off the fact that their opening duel percentage is also near one of the highest in the league, at least based on certain maps. It just comes down to, can they find that consistency across the board, because it hasn't necessarily been there everywhere. It's only been there in a couple of spots.
Yeah, definitely only been there in a couple of spots, but at least for Terminal. On a map like Terminal, they're 6th in First Blood percentage was at 54%, and they usually convert those in 83% of the round wins, which is 3rd overall in the league. So you just got to go back to the old game plan of the roster. Obviously, Illy's shoes are very difficult to fill in S&D. He was always stellar when it came to that mode, but now someone needs to step on. I think I'm looking at the most veteran guy on this roster, the guy with 2 world champions in the RCGs. He's the guy who can really set the tone, call the play calls for this young roster, and make it happen for the Seattle Surge roster to try to make it a 1-1 series after this map.
And the thing about it is, looking at Seattle generally speaking, this map, we kind of saw it there for a brief moment, has been a defensive masterclass for them. Not only do they not allow the bomb to get planted all that often, if they do allow the bomb to get planted, they are the best team in the league at retaking and finding a defuse. So those are some key elements to keep your eye on. And well, you kind of look at someone like Illy from before, but TJ has been really good so far this Major II Qualifier stint. 1.36 overall KD, and he has been one of those guys that likes to get in the mix early. So yeah, you look at this map for Seattle and say, yeah, we should take this one if we just play our cards right.
Yeah, that's exactly what you're thinking. Just gotta whip into the old game plan book. Just come up with those same exact strategies, because you did watch Carolina recently take down Boston on this map in a 6-4 victory, but a lot of that was due to a lot of clutching, especially out of the old man Clayster. Had multiple 1v1s, and if you can do that again, obviously you're going to find a W. But early on into this round, on the attacking side is going to be Carolina. No trophy systems to work with, so they're trying to take plane nice and early.
Arcity's playing in the back. You've got one player in Hook set up over towards cockpit side, but it's actually Gwyn who finds Brezzy over towards a C, or at least nearby, and that's going to open up TJ to create a ton of space. Plus a nade lands over towards the B site. Still looking for isolation over towards Arcity's, and now with that information on the trade, they know where Hook is positioned, and they're not even going to bother with the plant. Carolina's going to play for the kills, and they'll find it. Really quick offense coming through for round 1.
Yeah, you're just not reading that play. Carolina did a nice little split setup, 2 players through the terminal, but instead of them contesting in towards the plane, they actually work on the lower end, get the first blood of the player camping towards red steps, and then just trade efficiently as Clayster finds that nade onto Abuza as the island player. Just opened up the game right there for Carolina to have multiple different angles where they wanted to attack. by the ground that they were able to cover. Just a really easy offensive round right there out of Carolina. No need to worry about any trophy systems. We're going to use our attacks, play aggressive, find the trades. Round 1, Carolina.
Very quick, very clean. Now it's on to Seattle to see what they can offer. Those nades don't quite get where they were intended to go, so that slows down this potential push over towards A, and the cross is being heavily watched by the Ravens, plus a check from TJ. Oh, such a good transmission of info from the defenders deep. First blood tallied for the Ravens.
Oh, but Gwyn, you probably want that one back. Once you put yourself in the advantage in a 4v3, you know it's on them to make something happen on the attacking side, and that leads to Arcity's finding the second kill onto TJ. So it just was a 4v3 for Carolina, is now a 2v3. Clayster and Fellow, both the ARs, double stacked in towards the plane, and if Seattle searches a shot to hit the rotation over towards B, it's going to be a free bomb plant, but they might commit, and this might work right into what Carolina want them to do.
Fellow may have been scouted here. Yeah, shots go towards the cockpit. Brezzy follows up. Easy elimination. Clayster has not shown himself over towards the A side of the map yet, though. Can he surprise someone? No. Arcity's predicts it perfectly, and Seattle respond with a clean offense of their own.
Yeah, that's just one of those rounds right there with Seattle. They were the team getting first blooded, but the fact that Gwyn gives them a free P through the middle hallway, you find that one, making it 3v3, and then Arcity's finds the second. Then as they were sliding into that terminal, you catch Fellow with a stun in his hand. That one's tough. Bad COD timing on his part, but 1v3, Clayster spotted towards back plane. Everyone just focused that, find the kill. Seattle Surge able to respond with an attacking round.
Yeah, and initially it did look like Carolina had a good read on this, but I think you're absolutely right. Once Gwyn falls, it puts Carolina in a very intriguing position just because they kind of had to force a commitment defensively on the rotation. So now, with upgrades ready to go across the board for trophies and Dead Silence, it's going to be back to your normal pace here at Terminal. Very slow, very methodical. Of all, Brezzy kind of peeking over towards mid-hall, and he does get caught. First blood tallied again by Carolina.
That's the bait and switch right there to TJ and Gwyn. Brezzy was putting on a couple shots, but they didn't want to fully commit to that fight. Sets up Gwyn to catch him as he was trying to run away for the free first blood. So now in a 4v3, double stack for Seattle Surge over towards B, and they're actually going to contest this, and Abuza's going to be able to even up the numbers on Clayster. It makes it a 3v3 now.
Yeah, who kind of giving up information and getting shot at. Carolina seemed to make the call saying, we'll take the 4v question mark over towards B. At worst, it's a 4v2, but like you called, double stack of ARs watching over the top of it gets us to a 3v3, but TJ may have found some timing to get through. Call up as a player over towards top A. Seeing the last shots land at Abuza before he can get out of dodge over towards Eski. So we stay in a very peculiar position, though. I mean, it's just trades across the board. TJ left in the 1v2. No bomb. Able to track Arcity's, but not fully finish off the elimination. Now he's stuck down low. Not a lot of time to work with. And what looked to be Carolina on the pounce, this round just may run out of time for them.
Yeah, he has no time. You can't even plant the bomb because you do not have it in your back pocket. So all you got to do if you're Arcity is just run away. It could have been some bad COD timing right there, but TJ's still thinking that he was going to be playing towards top 3 stories. Arcity's makes it happen, though. He's the only player sitting towards top red. He's able to find 2 as they were being aggressive up through bottom middle. Just great plays out of the 2-time world champion. Finds the timing, also the snap on the Fellow. Headshot, great. Works out perfectly for Seattle Surge, and that's another 3v4 clutch round. If you're Carolina, let's just work our numbers a little bit slower in those situations.
And on top of that, Arcity's able to find a heavy handful of eliminations. Now on 5 in a row, 6-1 start for him. Looking for potentially the cruise missile here early. He's carrying the bomb, and he's going to have one cross right in front of Dreams for free. Wow. I mean, Carolina tried to get aggressive here defensively, but it's completely countered, and now you've got a cruise missile and a 4v2 if you're Seattle.
Yeah, this should be a free round for Seattle Surge.
Yeah.
You spot Fellow as well towards bottom Eski, so that's information at least gained onto one player. But now you should be able to just work your way up, work this bomb plant. You're also able to find Fellows. He tries to find the timing. It's Gwyn left in a 1v4. He does take that one, but bomb is now getting planted.
Like you had mentioned, when first bloods do come the way of Seattle, they win 83% of the rounds. Add another one to the tally here, as Gwyn is completely stuck. He's trying to create an opportunity. Arcity's will see him, and wow, what a start of a map here from Alec. I mean, he's nearly at double digits at this point. Hardy holding on to a cruise missile, and Seattle's absolutely working Carolina, even against the numbers in some rounds.
Yeah, the vet is stepping up, man, and that had to be his play call that round. He's saying, I'm one off of a cruise missile. You guys apply all the pressure up towards Eskies. If they find the first blood, even better, because that's going to force the player who's over towards the terminal side to try to overextend, try to make a play happen on the flank, and it works right into what RCD's wanted him to do. Free 2 first kills. You're already on a cruise missile. You find the third, and then the 1v3 just stand no chance. Seattle Surge have taken a fine grip of this S&D so far. Alec on a 7 streak. Just stepping up when his team needs him the most. And just in case it gets a little frantic, that cruise missile's in the back pocket.
Quick rotation back towards mid here for Brezzy after initially Clayster was seen over towards Burger. Fellow just kind of popping his head up over the books, just trying to see if he can scout anyone on this mid cross, but nothing's been hit yet. So Carolina's kind of coming into this back half of the round pretty blind, and Seattle's in a good spot to at least get a read on this A hit. Hook playing over towards cockpit side is going to try to take the
Oh, man.
TJ, a bold challenge, and it comes through for first blood. Brezzy follows up.
Yeah, Hook knows that he had to commit towards that fight, because once that canister blows up, he's going to be a little bit weak, but I'm just going to send it on to him. Finds the first blood onto TJ, and Brezzy with the second. Instantly a 4v2. Both the ARs again for Carolina, forced to clutch on up. With only 35 seconds left. Full commitment in towards the turn. Hook finds his second on the round. He knows the next player is right around the corner. But at least the nade hits for Fellow. And he should get traded here. All right, what the hell is going on? All right, there it is. Seattle Surge, 2 strong, 3 rounds in a row now.
Little fisticuffs on the railing. Wow. And like you'd mentioned, like even though Seattle finds himself up on the scoreboard pretty big, most of these early rounds have been winnable rounds for Carolina.
Yes.
Now, all of a sudden, these last 2 have been decidedly dominated by Seattle and what they've put together both offensively and defensively. And the mind games have to be completely screwing with Carolina at this moment.
And now that you're up 4-1, this is where you can invest that cruise missile to win this attacking round, because it's a lot more difficult to win attacks than it is on defense on a map like Terminal. So if you can walk away with this attack, put yourself up 5-1, basically are going to call game. So now Carolina forced to respond, and another first blood goes in favor of Seattle Surge. They can do no wrong in essence.
Yeah. Look how quick they've already made their play up towards jet bridge sides. RC's, like you mentioned, going to call in the cruise missile, transmit the info on where everyone's positioned. Then likely you're going to see this hard commit in towards A. Should be a double chow here in towards plane. It's just Gwyn in the way, and he gets absolutely obliterated. Oh my. TJ, saves A though. Through mid-map, he catches one, it looked like through cockpit, and then the other on the bridge. So now all of a sudden, TJ becomes a bit of a menace to this setup.
Oh, and if you can win this round, this is everything for Carolina. You get the cruise missile to be invested. Beginning of this one, it was also a 2v4. TJ makes it a 2v2, but the rotation for Seattle Surge going over towards that B site. Just a crossfire right now, set up for Carolina over towards A, but is TJ going to find the time to turn and look left?
Stun came through. Was that out of the hands of Clayster? Did it hit anybody? There's one definitely got placed over towards the B bomb. TJ looks like he's seen Abuza make the crossover. The top shots don't fully land. Has to reset. Frag getting cooked. Rotation from Clayster already here. Does that connect? No. So now you got to do this the hard way. Clay also with the frag doesn't cook it up. That doesn't make a difference. The team shot's great. But watch the pinch. Brezzy from the back almost finds the timing to take down both. Instead has to take the 1v1 with Clay. And it's good for Clayster to get Carolina a big round on the board.
That's a really big round. You get the cruise missile to get invested. You also clutch up in the 2v4. Major plays coming in out of the vets. And Clayster and TJ. Just don't get frantic in those moves. Even when TJ missed a couple shots onto Abuza, he waited for his teammate to come assist him. Make sure you use your attacks to reposition him. And then Clayster with the timing to play the one-on-one versus Brezzy while TJ's stuck on that defuse. A much-needed round right there for Carolina Roy Ravens to not let this S&D get away from them. But now you need to respond on the attack. It's been all over the map for these guys. 2 towards Terminal, 1 towards Library, and Clay every single time islanding over towards Burger. Let's try to get a 4-man push one way.
I was about to say, this would be time to hit with some concentration. See if they end up doing it. In fact, actually on the opposite foot, you can say the same thing's happening for Seattle. Got a long cross being watched by our cities. The other 3 members looking to play aggressive in towards B. Decent trade from Fellow. Keeps the aggression at bay. We're going to go 3v3.
It's big plays from Clayster also to get out with his life at Burger. Multiple players trying to isolate him, but continues to make it a 3v3. Fellow also drops the bomb for Clay, so
huge.
Moving on up, Gwyn, great shots onto Brezzy, makes it a 3v2, and now you just have to find this trade on the RCDs, and the plane is going to be yours.
Stun comes out. RCD's waiting to check this. Carolina a bit antsy on their initial take of this plane position. Everyone's looking towards this back tail position. They know that it could be someone here. Clayster cut with the pistol out though. Free kill for Arcides. Wallbang starting to come through, and Fellow will capitalize on the elimination. Now it's just to Abuza. Bomb recollected. Fellow instantly for the plant. 1v2 we go.
Yeah, and Abuza did put down a couple shots, so already positioning known for Carolina. That's why they stick the bomb instantly. They knew he was towards top 3, but now 35 seconds to work with. Abuza trying to clear every single angle. Keep in mind, he does not have covert sneakers on, so he's going to be heard all the way across the map, and Carolina's set up on the crossfires.
Yeah, Gwynn's already heard this. Everyone looking at it. Shots from Fellow, perfect. Wow, okay. So that's exactly what the doctor ordered. Like we mentioned, the first 3 rounds really could have gone either way. In fact, I think there would have been more arguments for Carolina coming out on top of the first 3 rounds. Seattle have 2 convincing rounds in a row, and now all of a sudden we're essentially back to level terms here after some Ravens conviction starts to make itself known.
Yeah, they've been able to just play the pick game. You know, once it goes down to them getting first blooded, they were able to instantly respond, make it a 3v3, and then Gwyn starts it off with a great shot on the Brezzy through bottom steps, put them in the advantage, and he just trade efficiently in towards the plane, get the bomb down, and secure the round as Carolina been able to chain a couple together. Now down 4-3, back on the defensive end. I think Seattle Surge have gotten about 6 first bloods, and Abuza finds another one, this time on the hook.
Yeah, Arcides gets so much information on the players coming up the slide, but unfortunately, the team shots that were intended to try to find, I think, TJ crossing ends up just hitting Hook for the most part. So 4v3, Seattle, I'm sure still feeling pretty confident that a lot of this defense is leaning A, but they're not going to know with 100% certainty. Arcides is still looking for intel, and he will at least catch that Fellows playing bottom tarmac.
That's good info onto Fellows. He's watching over the middle alley, but just a lot of time being wasted and no ground being taken.
Yeah.
It's finally Seattle Surge are going to work their way up through Library, and there's not a single player from Carolina watching this positioning. So this can be the opening if they decide to attack over towards B, because it's only Clayster on that side of the map.
The only thing about it is Seattle hasn't put anyone on this side, so there could be someone inside of Cafe, there could be someone over towards Burger, could be playing passive towards Eskies. There's a lot of misinformation, and Clayster is able to find the first. No one rotating immediately here, though. Abuza is able to capitalize onto Gwyn, so still it's just kind of this decision of how do you want to hit over towards B, and Clay may read this perfectly. Abuza crosses in front, but Clay doesn't hit the shots. 2v2, plenty of time for the plant. TJ gonna see the cross, but Arcides catches him first. Oh, a disaster here for Carolina. Bomb getting planted. Fellow looking to go quick, and he's been completely taken down to 1 shot. Finds the first, but not the second. What a regain round from Seattle.
Yeah, that's unacceptable right there for Carolina. That turned into a 4v2 with about 20 seconds left. All we have to do is just make sure they can't put the bomb down at one of these sites. But if you are Clay, so you want that gunfight back, man, you kill Abuza, the round is going to be yours. But the fact that he loses that fight, you force a couple players from Carolina to now reposition. And with Arcides in his position towards bottom red, he was able to catch a couple. What a 2v4 clutch right there from Seattle Surge to now put them at game point, shut down all the momentum on the side of the Ravens.
Man. What is that, 3 rounds now that Carolina have had significant numbers, not been able to close out the round?
Yeah, that's tough.
How different that
Can't
makes.
win like that.
Yeah. 2-2 split defensively here from Seattle. Carolina looking to get aggressive over towards A, but RC just pops his head out. He's still feeling the hot hand from his 8-1 start. Now 14-3, first blood tallied, and he's going to get eyes onto Clayster mid-map.
He's just not missing right now. Straight beams coming in on a 2-time world champ. We're asking if he was going to be able to step up for this roster and sit at 14-3. You best believe he's going to do that. It's now Seattle Surge into 4v3. Already a lot of time wasted on the game clock, and Abuza shoots like that. He's able to find 2 through Burger. Now it's Fellow left in a 1v4.
Good luck, have fun. First contestant looks to be Hook. Not interested as he heads his way downstairs. Quick pinch is on the way, so Fellow's going to have to move and move quickly. Good openers, but there's the rest of the flank in Seattle. Wow. I mean, it really does start with Arcides and almost end with Arcides there for a moment, but holy cow, that 2v4 is going to be living in the minds of the Royal Ravens for a while.
Because they were down 4-3 in that 2v4 scenario. You clutch that one up, all tied up at 4. Then you also get the investment early on from the cruise missile, so you don't have to worry about that. But when you allow Seattle Surge to clutch up a round the way that they did, with only 20 seconds left to make it happen, all momentum goes back to their side. They can do no wrong. As you take a look at the numbers, Arcides 14-3, 12 non-traded kills, almost 2,500 damage. That's what you call takeover in the game mode, as he just shuts down all the players from Carolina. Multiple first bloods out of him as well. They just played great S&D. We were worried about if, Illy not back on the roster, if they were going to have the same game plan on a map like Terminal, and they're still strong at that S&D, able to tie the series up at 1.
Yeah, really good stuff. I mean, outside of their match versus New York, it really has been for this Seattle team. Only been Karachi that's been an issue for them on Search and Destroy. So I'm sure they're going to be happy to see High Rise be there for map number 5 if we get there. But they won't have to wait too long to tally up what's going on at High Rise, because we've got that coming up next to the Control. And Jay, just quickly before we go to break, let's be honest, it hasn't been good for Seattle.
Oh yeah, it hasn't. They just started playing it last week. It was the very first time they played it. But Control overall, they're sitting at 0-9. You gotta have to turn that around. Carolina aren't the best either. So whoever wins this map number 3 is gonna walk away with the series.
Slice up your competition with the Executive Chef Operator, now available in-game in the Call of Duty store. Upgrade your game with the Scuff, the official controller of the Call of Duty League. Check out all of the awesome in-game rewards you can earn for free just by watching the Call of Duty League. What's on tap this weekend? An all-new lineup including a weapon blueprint, emblem, calling card stickers, and XP tokens. Just link your YouTube account now to start earning.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Call of Duty League and the middle of our first game here on Sunday. Seattle Surge, Carolina Royal Ravens, both tied at 1 apiece, but that search from Arseny's unreal stuff. An 8-1 start, Jay, and he didn't really slow down from there, for being honest.
Yeah, it was just takeover, man, from start to finish of this search and destroy. Multiple clutches out of him, multiple close helping personal gunfights he was able to win, but then he earns an early cruise missile. And then even in that final round, catches a 2v4 alongside of Booza. Multiple first bloods as well. That two-time world champion just stepped up tremendously for his roster. Tied up F1, and gonna need that guy to continue to play the way that he did, because we're going into control where, like I said earlier before the series, haven't won since Vietnam, so gotta figure it out here.
Unreal stuff, man. It's been since December, the last time that Seattle found a way to win a control. On the flip side, I think for Ravens fans, you know, again, we talked about this a lot. The respawn were going to be the kind of focus points here for Carolina, and in particular, going back to a high-rise control again for the third time this qualifier after 2 different 2-3 losses. You would have to think that, okay, just fix those couple of small mistakes in those matches versus Boston and New York, and you should be feeling pretty decent about your chances to take a map here.
Yeah, I think the small mistake that they need to fix, actually both of these squads, is simply the slaying. That's the reason why they're losing majority of these control maps, is because they cannot keep up with the kills. You go forward to the control, you get put in a spawn trap. So just kind of make sure that's your main focus for both of these teams. Just put yourself in those power positions. Make sure you're not going forward dead at the same time. But it's going to be early on Carolina on the attacking side. Gwyn hitting a nice little route, potentially going to open up the first kill.
Yeah, really well done. Catches Brezzy completely off guard, and this Seattle setup was all intended to watch over the top at B, so this has gone absolutely miserably bad at the moment. First tick of progress going to get locked at A very quickly. Abusa also dropping means that the Seattle defense really can't converge to stop the second tick either. Mid-map, Brezzy able to find one, but now we're working on the third tick of progress. What is happening?
Wow!
Seattle, do they not know how to defend A? Not like this, not again.
They were probably looking for that propane tank, but Carolina, they already naded that out, so you cannot take them down with your attacks, but at least they're able to find a couple kills and retake that map control. Now hitting that reset button for Carolina, but you have 2 minutes to complete this segment over towards B. Placed already in a great position towards top propane. If you can find another one, even better, as he lines up Abusa, but there's still a player behind him. Abusa finds that kill, and still Seattle Surge trying to hold on from the back of their spawn.
Gwyn playing from the defending underground position, looking to just hold players back at range, and the pistol will get it done now 3 in a row for Gwyn. TJ following up, and the first tick of progress looking good here at B. Brezzy just on the opposite side at the ladder, and whoa, what shots those are from Fellow. Absolutely melts him away, and the second tick can still be worked on here for the Ravens.
Yeah, they're still here. They're still here, but applying pressure onto the point. You have to try to get in if you are Seattle. Who does it with the ladder, but unfortunately cannot find that kill. So it's already the second segment done, making 2, looking for 3 dead. Now here comes the stack. Carolina are going to be able to walk away with this attacking round.
Man, I mean, it was a speed run when Seattle played this versus New York, and you think there's no way it goes like that again on their opening defense. Well, we would have been wrong if you said that out loud, because, I mean, like you said, it's just the propane tank cannot be your only defender on the A zone. It just can't be.
It can't. And unfortunately, it comes back to bite them, because now they're down by 6 segments. Carolina have all momentum as they're the team walking away with the attack, and now they just need to put them in a nice little trap on the defensive setup. If you are Seattle Surge, just a tall task to climb. And it also starts with this break-off, though. You currently have Hook sitting at 0-5. Not the best start, but you can get a couple kills right off the rip of this map. You can respond with an attacking round of your own.
Yeah, to put it plainly, Jay, to put it plainly. 2-2 split here for Carolina. Hook just looking to work his way through the underground, and he's got a lot of space. Problem is, his teammates who are trying to help out maybe a play towards B have been completely taken care of. So, yeah, Hook gets his first kill of the round, but Carolina are saying, all right, fine, you have the B zone. You can step on that if you want. We're going to set up the spawn trap.
Yeah, we're going to trap everyone else. You can slowly try to work your way up as we're going to turn it into a one-on-one on the point with the player that came off spawn. But at least Hook's teammates are finding a couple kills out of their base. So now Hook's in a position to where he can try to finesse a little bit, try to put himself in a position to play for more kills on the opposing side of the map. He finds another one on the TJ. Brezzy off spawn finds a second one onto Gwyn. Who's just running around? His teammates have not been able to get out, man.
Yeah, I mean, everyone else in the Ravens, again, are saying, fine, get back there. Players off spawn will deal with you eventually, but maybe that split decision, not really the one best called for TJ. Oh, absolutely obliterated. And how about this start in round number 2 for Hook, still becoming a thorn in the side at the Carolina spawn.
Yeah, and they're trying to locate him, and finally Gwyn does. You take care of Hook, you shut down that progression towards the cruise missile, and finally your team is able to pause the game clock with someone capturing over towards A, but the actual stun from Fellow, too strong, takes down Arcides. And now there's only 30 seconds left, and you don't even have a segment complete. Seattle Surge need to get a move on it.
Nabuza dropping over towards Elevator Alley means that this Surge push may have to default to playing on A. Hook, once again, is kind of repeating what the route was the last time he came off spawn. Knows he's got a player nearby, but Gwyn right through the middle of the map finds an easy one. Felony follows up in 19 plays, 15, 8 seconds on the clock. No one from Seattle going to get to a zone in time unless they can find a way to dive on towards A. Fellow at the mid, still not losing gunfights, and it'll stop at 1.8. Sure, there's a bit of a stack here, but Gwyn lines him up now on 5 in a row. 15 and 5, start the pistol, not going to get it done. Second tick of progress being worked on, and now it's just 0.3 seconds, just Nabuza left. Wallbangs come through and Carolina clean up the defense, no worries.
Oh man, Seattle Surge, they're just playing so spread, Alan. Like, just going one-on-one. Obviously, Hook was just trying to play his life, trying to finesse as long as he can. But eventually, we got to get a team push. There's just a whole lot of individual plays on that round for Seattle Surge, and Carolina were able to pick them apart every single time. Gwyn does get shut down on that cruise missile, but you only allow 1 segment, so you're in full control of this map if you are Carolina Royal Ravens. Even if you do lose this attacking round, you have defense guaranteed with the way that they have been playing. Seattle Surge just need to have a response, and actually Fellow does pick one up as well, so it's a cruise missile already in the back pocket for Carolina.
Yeah, and it makes me wonder, the veto for Seattle was Karachi. If this is how bad High Rise is, how bad is Karachi? I mean,
the crazy thing is, Alan, this was their auto veto. This is their auto veto, and then with the new roster, they try to attempt to play versus New York. That's not a good choice because they're the best team on High Rise on this map. And now you're playing against Carolina, who've been struggling to control, and you can't find anything either. So we might have to get rid of this one overall.
Yeah, not looking good. Progress towards B already being worked on. Clay is still on a 4 spree. It's just TJ in the zone for now, but Clay and Fellow playing on this bottom lane. Yeah, they're looking for some kills kind of in towards the window positions, and that is going to work out nicely. Just 1 kill to speak of for Seattle.
Hello?
I mean, what are we doing?
Oh! Old man still got it. He's able to find his 6 on the round before he does get taken down. So now you have 2 cruise missiles to work with. We're instantly going to get the investment out of Gwyn. As they're trying to speed run through this control, you catch one off spawn. You also get the info on where the rest of the players from Seattle Surge are. You take care of Hook, at least the trade is going to be there. So they have 1 minute and 40 to work with, and they're up by 9 lives, and they still have some streaks to work with.
Yeah. So Rio,
GG, wow.
What? Dude, not losing gunfights. And Arcides, who had a great search and destroy, just cannot find a way to win a gunfight here in the control. There's really not much to say. 22 plays 13, minute 25 on the clock. More crews is going to get invested. This will allow not just kills, but Ravens have a chance to still dominate the map.
Yeah, they're just making it rain at this point. Shout out Donnie Temp. There's still 21 to 12 in lives remaining. You have a whole lot of time to work with. You saw Fellow trying to hit that deep route, trying to come up behind enemy lines, but his teammates are still finding kills around the map. Clayster with another 2. Last player up is going to be Hoop. Everyone else off the respawn. You're finally in a position to pause that game clock if you are Carolina.
Defense still struggling to get out from these windows positions. Trophy systems are down, so the offense stays healthy through this incoming utility. Arcides Abuza working through mid-map. That will get 1 off the point. Second ticket to be contested, and hold on a second. 14 plays 7. Seattle now working their way into some defensive strongholds, and they will also deplete most of that second tick.
Yeah, and I think if you are Carolina, though, with only a minute left, let's just slow the game down and play our trades. Because they only have 7 lives remaining. You can turn it basically into TDM. TJ finds one onto Abuza. Now he pops that dead silence to work his way behind enemy lines, but RC is able to spot him as well. So it's still Seattle Surge holding on through the middle of the map. I know they only have 5 lives left. Not the best start to this round, but they still have an opportunity with 30 seconds left to try to stay alive here.
The Ravens just need to play trades. This should not be an issue here for the Royal Ravens. Keyword should. We'll see what happens. 23 seconds will put a little bit of pressure here on the Ravens to make a move on towards the zone. Pinch is on the way over towards this A position. Abuza just trying to find kills around him, and now it's just the last couple of defenders, 3 playing up against 7, but the only player for Carolina that can actually get on the zone is Gwyn, and all the stun lands perfectly, allowing him the second kill, so he'll finesse his life a little while longer. Brezzy, the last hope, wins the gunfight, but he does immediately get traded, so more mixy than it maybe should have considering the start for the Ravens. 3-0 the control, and Seattle, I mean, holy cow, we need to work on control a little bit more than this.
Yeah, that's 2 respawns, but they have just been blown out of the water, man. Like, usually when you form a new roster, keep in mind, when you're sitting in practice, you're playing all the respawns before you're playing S&D. So this is where they need to be showing why they decided to put this team together. But so far, map number 1, you're losing by 100. You clutch up in the Search and Destroy, but in the high-rise control, you get absolutely steamrolled by one of the worst teams that we have in the mode. So obviously something is not clicking for Seattle Surge. We're probably gonna have to get rid of high-res control going forward. But now your backs are against the wall, and then you're going into a hard point that you have yet to play as a roster. That might be a good thing, though. You haven't played it on Rio, and you can also allow someone else to pull out that third SMG. So Abuza, Brezzy, and Hoop have to try to step up on that map number 4 to keep themselves alive, because the way that Carolina are playing, they're just so in sync right now when you talk about the respawn modes.
Yep, and another map where not only does Gwyn continue to be another conversation point for potential MVP, I know that a lot of the conversation is favored Gwyn's, and I think a lot of that is justified with Minnesota finding kind of an uptick over the course of the last, we'll say, major and a half. But if Carolina can keep playing like this, conversations for Gwyn again have to keep going up, because he has really been individually incredible. But with their roster change, Fellow's starting to kind of improve his performance individually, map by map, match by match. And I don't know, man, if we're going to see respawn like this from the Ravens, they're going to win more series than just this one, pending, of course, that Rio goes their way.
Yeah, I think they're just getting more comfortable because, like you said, Gwyn has been their shining light in every single match and series. He's the only player, when you talk about the respawns, over a 1.0 KD. Everyone slightly under. But if he continues to play like that, and then you get the rest of your squad to start to step up, like you said, Fellows having himself a phenomenal series so far, that's what makes these games a lot easier. You're playing against some of the top teams, keeping all the HPs really close. You're dominating the control on that high rise. Finally, you get a W there. And now you're going into a Rio HP just purely off the momentum, the way that you guys have been playing respawns. We should be able to close this game out in 4 if we just stick to what we do, play as a collective unit.
And I think not just play as a collective unit, but keep that same focus we saw on Skid Row in terms of how and when we're rotating, because that was obviously the biggest kind of really moniker for success that we saw from Carolina. Obviously starting up 106-0 is, you know, also not bad at all. But hey, this is a map that can get really quick. We obviously focus a lot on the SMGs, but you get ARs to take long routes, anchor, find good spawns, and all of a sudden the map could be very snowbally as well, pending, of course, that your SMGs just don't get into a blender.
And if you're just taking a look at the Seattle Surge body language, it looks like none of these players want to be here. Like, we got to try to turn on up. As we take a look at the holding breakdowns for both of these squads, overall in the season, 63% for Seattle, 73% for Carolina. It's not really the best numbers, as you can tell, for Seattle. They have been dead last in that category. They can rotate early, but they cannot put themselves in the proper setup to get some much needed time. Same thing for Carolina, just slightly a little better.
Sure. Again, when you're dealing with teams that are near the bottom of the league, you're going to see statistics that look like this. I think the bigger story point, though, is even though Carolina haven't necessarily found the wins that I'm sure, of course, they want, and obviously at this point, we also need to talk about the fact that they kind of need them. Hey, the thing about it is you've played some good teams pretty darn competitively, and there were definitely series in there, reverse sweep obviously being one of them, that you would look back at and say, these were winnable series, that we could be 2-0 so far through the major, looking at possibly a third win here. So, yeah, I think that this is one of those moments where the Carolina camp has to still believe in the process, because not only has the respawn looked good in this particular series, they've played some other opponents that are near the middle, top of the leaderboard, also really close, and that's got to be inspiring. Yeah,
it's definitely inspiring because, like you said, you're playing some of the top teams very, very tight. So 1 to 2 changes in your gameplay, you can walk away with that W. Obviously, the series versus New York, you went up 2-0, and unfortunately, after the control, everything else was a smoke show. But this is an opportunity where you can avoid that Game 5 search and destroy, because at least the way that Seattle played in game number 2, they have the same exact game plan with the old roster that they do with the new squad. So you don't want to get to Game 5 if you're Carolina. You want to try to close it out here on this Rio HP.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited to see, just in case Fellow pull out that third sub, oh, this is going to be mixy.
Yeah, 100%. And it's hard to really evaluate, like, hey, if you were to put 3 subs in both of these two teams' hands rather, who do you favor? Because, you know, we've seen Abuza kind of run that experimental second sub before the roster swap had happened, and he didn't look particularly incredible. So do you force him back onto it again, or do you run a 2-2 setup? We'll come to learn as Carolina will start things off with a favorable trade, and that gets them some early time once again here in the first hill.
Oh, this is good stuff already from Carolina. You get a teammate coming in from Seattle Surge, and you're able to win the trade fights into top mid. But it's Hook trying to set up a deep pinch route. Should be able to find a freebie onto Clayster. Now he's set up for the pinch. Time for RCDs to strike. He does find one, and it turns into a 1-on-1. Hook is able to win it. But still players from here, Carolina, on the better side of the map, trying to contest it, but already ahead of the game off the rotation.
Abuza at least able to force that last gunfight to allow Seattle some guaranteed scrap time. RCD's trophy system already earned is in position to at least stop Carolina from fully setting up around the second hill. You talked about their spawns being good, but there will have to be a fight to get into the hardpoint itself. Pinstripe kill feed, hardpoint opens. Felony, nice win here around the back. RCD's looking to get aggressive, but he's stunned just as he tries. The mantle and Fellow will take the gunfight win. Carolina using their proximal spawns to get in the hill first.
Yeah, they were playing patient, just make sure they were trading efficiently, making sure no one was going to apply the pressure through the middle's map and go for that potential pinch. It is Hoop now who found that timing, but he can only get one for his endeavors. The rest of Seattle Surge all trying to attack from the front end with only 35 seconds left. You still got some trophy systems that are keeping you alive on the point. Oh man, Clay just doing the major soaking right now.
Yeah. Calm and casual, nice long-range shots as well. Okay, full 4-man down, and this is where things got really disastrous for Seattle. The last 20 seconds of a hard point, not being able to contest the scrap means that Carolina can reinforce on the rotation. They've already flipped spawns around. Hook spawns over towards old. Carolina have the opportunity with 3 members on rotation to open up the third in their name, and the first kill goes the way of Gwyn. 7-3 start, follow up from Fellow. That will lock down the spawns, and the Ravens already in the time.
That's a great read right there from Fellow to read that player who was trying to at least stay alive through the back end. Brezzy with an unfortunate stair glitch right there, caught Fellow off guard, but it's still Carolina in towards the hill. They know where the pressure's coming in from, all through that bridge side. TJ just decides to send it, and unfortunately he does get paid for it. It's now Seattle Surge. They're here to contest. They're keeping it mixy, even though they're spawning all the way across the map.
Great patience from Gwyn, knows there's a contest, evaluates where it could be from, and then predicts it perfectly. And now Seattle no longer have much of an option to play through this bridge side. Or if they do, it's going to take a lot of time for them to get there. And Clayster's already kind of watching over the top of this. So the threat is now known. Gwyn, Fellow, pick it up perfectly, plus the team kill. And oh man, it's just, we have not seen breaths for longer than a second and a half from this Seattle team on any respawn yet to this map.
It's just not a good play right there. Your first initial push was to like, all right, we're going to be sporadic. We're going to push through bridge, push through top mid. And then with only 25 seconds left, you decided to send 3 players through bridge, basically gift the rotation over to Carolina. And they walked away with the remaining junk time. They're just not playing winning HP right now as they lose another rotation, this time over towards P4. You see the spawns. You got players trying to set up pinches. You got players trying to attack from the front. It's just not in sync right now, and Carolina making them pay for it.
And it's just so tough, Jay, because like this is really reminding me a lot of like early Thieves before their roster swap. It's like, how do you look at any of the individuals and say it's their problem or they're the ones that are causing some of the issues? Because the full team is just not gelling. They're not rotating together. They're not setting up how they want to. Everything seems to be very reactive. And it's just, it's really tough to diagnose when you have issues that are so full-fledged like this. Another 100+ point lead. Carolina's going to get gifted the concession of scrap time. And now you look towards rotation again in Seattle. Yeah, they're here, but you know, it's again one of those moments where Carolina's not here. I mean, they still have a chance to fight through mid-map.
Yeah, they have a chance to do everything that they want. They're walking away with this remaining junk time. They already find themselves up by 120, almost 130 points. And now you have the patience that you can start making plays, hitting a couple routes as TJ pushes through the old hill. He's trying to take top mid control. Clayster tries to go through the flank. He does get shut down, but Seattle Surge, this is a hill that they need to try to respond with. Just control exactly where Carolina are coming from, all in front of you, and just hold down your top bridge.
Brizzy up top. That one's not on stairs, so he'll find the kill a little bit easier. Carolina at least able to respond back. RCD's last one left. Semtex just to create a little bit of time and space, but once more, Seattle's setup has been completely broken down. They have to refight for this hard point control. A couple of members still playing through that back tank, but Gwyn absolutely obliterates Brezzy off the truck. And with 13 seconds on the fight for, he will try to get as much of this as possible. The rest of Carolina are already set up creating buffers towards P1.
They're just ahead of the game, man. They're just a couple steps ahead of what Seattle Surge are thinking. Now we go back to our P1 HP. Clayster with the beam from top mid with that MCW. As they are the team early in control of this P1. How does Seattle Surge decide to break this? We have players playing patient towards the bottom of the Eskies. We're trying to set up the timing also through Bidge. Finally, the trade does come in from Abuza, who's currently having a slow start to this game, but
Yeah.
you're not having fun when you're not winning rotations. Carolina just steamrolling right now.
And this is kind of the similar shades of the Seattle roster that we had from the first major with Illy. The rosters of Abuza just not able to get things going with the SMG in hand. So do you just take it away and just go to a 2-2 compositional setup? Because the SMG's not really working out for him. Clay on 4, TJ gunning, smoking. No one's challenging and finding kills. Clayster on 5, TJ still off the double. Gwyn already rotated to do. And this is going to be the biggest beatdown at Hardpoint we've seen so far in the CDL.
This is straight World Star, bro. Like, this is a mismatch from start to finish, the way that Carolina are playing these respawns. Already 223, 27 points away from winning this entire series. You get some cruise missiles to get invested. Gwyn's going to play slow towards backside of the gate side. He finds that first kill, and even if you're Carolina, just keeping them off of the point is already a job well done.
Absolutely. And as much as this has not been pretty for Seattle,
God.
you got to look to Carolina and say, okay, this is exactly what we were hoping that we were going to get from the Ravens after, again, some tough losses in their first 2 games. You blow Seattle out of map 1, you blow them out of map 3, and now you're doing this on a map you haven't played yet before. I think the hopes around this Ravens potential should be a lot higher than their record currently reflects.
Oh yeah, I agree. The only thing that they do tend to struggle with, that I'm completely mind blown that they struggle with, is search and destroy.
Sure.
You have S&D players from start to finish of this roster, and they just simply have not been able to figure it out. But it's only 10 seconds left until they're able to call series. Seattle Surge, great job. You're able to find a break, but it's only for 5 seconds. Now you're off the rotation. You are the team initially set up, and if you are Carolina Ravens, you can take your sweet time, hit all the way around the map. But Clayster could even jump out the map and come back in if he decided he wanted to, as they have a nice little comfortable lead, only 10 points away.
I will say, this is the first decent moment we've seen from Seattle, but no one's anchoring the back, so Clayster will get around, stuns will land. The hit from the outside does get quelled, so Seattle's still in. First 25 seconds are theirs, plus the follow-up eliminations going their way. Kind of almost feels like that round 3 in high rise where it's just like Carolina can do no wrong. It's just put the game away, please. Like, what are we waiting for? But this P3 has been really solid for Surge, as they will get past the 100-point club and have a chance to hopefully rotate.
Yeah, hopefully they get a chance, but they probably will not have one, as they still have a couple players spawning in towards the back end. Abuza and Arcedy's combined for 2. Big couple of kills there, but it's Carolina just slowly but surely only needing 5 seconds to close out this game. They can no longer win it here at P3, so it's going to be forced over towards P4, and Seattle Surge did the team early on, so how long can they hold?
Hit around the back from P3, coming out from TJ, the rest of it from the front. Timing is not perfect, though, from Carolina, and Seattle win out in the trades again. So where was this for the first 5 minutes of this game? You start to wonder, as they do get past the 100-point mark and extra clearance kills come through. Seattle stringing together a couple of moments here.
Yeah, they got a couple of good moments. You can just tell Carolina just like, let's just try to get this game over with. They dropped the teamwork strategies, is all out individual plays. Someone pop a 2-piece to end this game out for us. Just Seattle Surge are reading exactly what they're doing, but Gwyn in a position now through side boxes, could potentially take this player off the point. I don't think he's going to do so, as the contest is still going to be here. So Seattle Surge slowly but surely showing some life, but now with only 13 seconds left, Carolina said, all right, it's done with this. Let's call this game over towards Bridge. They're going to get the team set up.
First setup, like you mentioned there, but heavy stack from Seattle trying to hit this all together, and okay, that should finally do it. And it will. All right. I mean, it's just one of those times it's like, boys, can we just finish the last 6 seconds, please? Like, can we just all just frame up, set up, get the hit? Okay. And you can kind of see just there for a moment, like, Clay's just like, all right. I mean, did all the heavy lifting early, boys. Let's finish those last couple of reps off. And wow, it's still one of those things that I think you look at it when it was 230 to 40 and you say, man, Seattle's got to figure it out, man.
They have to hit the reset button, bro. Like, this is a new roster. This is now a second series where they do fall short. At least they walk away with the S&D here, but